Good evening, friends, foes, and those bound here by a mysteriously worded pact that you definitely didn't read all of the way through. Welcome to the season premiere of This Is Your Questline. I am your host, Wisteria Daggerford. Yes, that Wisteria. And if you didn't know, you've either been in a coma or stuck in some sort of a time loop. Blink twice if you need help. Tonight, I'm joined by a very special guest, but first, if you're wondering what in the nine hells you're doing here, allow me to explain. You've been summoned to this plane to hear first-hand accounts from adventurers like tonight's guests, their wins, their losses, their not-so-near misses with death, and the messy little choices they made along the way. And trust me, it's so good, you'll simply die. Not me, though. I can't. But maybe you. And with that, tonight we have someone who literally crawled their way out of a bad situation and decided to do it in style. He's half-sized, full chaos, and somewhere between your favourite brother and your biggest liability. He's got a sparkle in his eye, a sword that talks back, and rumour has it an active fear against nautical-themed fashion. Please welcome to the show the unstoppable, unpredictable, and undeniably snack-motivated Addison Rhodes. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
I'm sorry, I got most of that, and then I heard snacks. Is there snacks?
There might be snacks, depending. Would that keep
More
you here
importantly,
longer?
said I'm going to die again. Like, I can't do this again. Like, I've just come back in the last, I think somewhere like 12 months. I can't do that again. I don't want to lose all these memories. I've made some really good memories over this last year.
I feel like I'm quite excited to hear about those memories. If you'll be so kind in sharing, of course. But before we kind of get to those memories, where I'd like to start is the beginning of your story, Addison. For those people watching alone in their homes, definitely alone in their homes, when was the moment you knew your story had truly begun? Tell me about it.
Do you mean this time or the other time? Because I don't remember the other time. The other time was, I don't know how long ago. I assume I had parents. But this time it was more dirty. I don't know where I was, but there was a lot of, and he kind of like brushes off his jacket. A lot of dirt just everywhere. I heard a voice. I didn't know where I was. I was very, very hungry, and a little bit scared. But I made friends. I had a friend. I remember I had a friend. I woke up and then I found a friend, and then I got very confused as to where I was supposed to go from there.
Was this the friend that spoke to you in your mind, or the one without a head?
The one with how there was nobody else there. How do you know about the?
Oh, darling, I'm all knowing. I know all.
So do you know everything?
I could be tempted to answer that question, but I'm the one asking the questions currently. When you say you heard a voice in your head, what did it say to you exactly? And you were dead, correct?
Well, I don't know. I don't remember anything. I just woke up.
In, like, a shallow grave, though, correct? Or something similar.
Yeah, and I was, I got this, and he lifts up an arm which is like translucent blue, sort of wrapped up. So I don't know. I lost something along the way. But my friend, you said my friend? Yes, my friend Reeves. He's lovely. He helps me a lot. He took me everywhere. He is he? Reeves, hello. You here? Did he come across? You said hello. And you just hear in your mind this deep voice. Fear, unknown, we must leave.
Please don't leave. I need the ratings. However, anything else that this voice said to you when you woke up? And what made you so compliant in just going along with it?
He seemed nice. He seemed friendly.
I'll bring
Here's
out
all I
snacks
had.
if you're willing to kind of spread as much gossip about it as possible.
I, I'm, I, I mean, he he lets me do things. He helps me. He doesn't yell at me when I make mistakes. Often, a lot, all the time.
How many mistakes have you made in the last, let's say, 2 weeks?
Oh no. Um, I may or may not have broken a man's toe trying to tie his shoelaces. I may or may not have lost control of Reeves once, and he kind of killed a man. Um, I I've done a little bit. I thought I was helping. I did also run away, and I was gone for a few months and spent time in a swamp.
In a
I
swamp.
thought I needed to be alone.
And a
She
swamp.
couldn't find me. Yes, yeah, somewhere that she wouldn't go and she couldn't find me. She's scary. She's really scary. She tried to put me into a sailor suit once. I didn't like that very much, and I may have destroyed her entire shop. And
I
just
heard
it.
about this. This is Coco, right?
Is she here?
She's in
Please
the
tell me
wings.
she's not here. Where?
I can't say. Otherwise you might leave.
He's like almost standing on the chair, just up against the back of it, going, I don't. She can't be here. I spent too long trying to get away from her.
As you kind of start to freak out, what happens is you see someone kind of run out with what can only be described as a charcuterie board and like puts it directly on this small table in front of you. You can smell the sense of like fresh meats and fruits and cheeses, and there's like an abundance of crackers sitting there in front of you. You also see this like large goblet of a beautiful looking wine poured before you.
Is this for me?
Only if you answer all of my questions.
I could talk. It's probably one thing that I'm really good at. I do like to talk. Not many people like to listen to me though. People kind of tolerate me a little bit. I don't understand what their problem is, but I'm a really friendly guy. You'll listen?
That's all I'm here to do. And reveal things about others.
He checks to make sure that all his buttons are done up on his shirt. Here?
Well, maybe not here for that specific thing. However, let's go back to Coco for a second.
He looks frantically around again. Back to where?
Just to the question, darling. When we talk to you about Coco, what's the first memory that is brought up? And please describe it in the most juiciest of details.
Carrots and soup. We spoke a lot about carrots and soup on our first mission together. It was probably when she was a lot nicer to me as well. She also, I don't think she appreciated my singing. It was a good way to pass the time. Me and Carthus, we used to always sing when we were on missions. He's nice. I like Carthus. He's not mean like the others. He's a good friend. I bring him back things from my travels. I got him a stick once when we were over on this beach. This contest on a beach. We won that. I don't remember exactly what we won an invitation to go and see some king. That was scary. We also got a trophy that is in the guild hall, and I see it when I walk past, and I have good memories, and then I think about other things that then scare me, and then I have to stop because otherwise I'll get too scared. I might have to run away again and spend more time in that swamp, and that swamp was smelly. And I still think, and he kind of shakes his head and bangs his head like he's trying to get water out of his ear as this real viscous green liquid just drops out onto your floor. I still apparently carry a bit of it around with me.
Wisteria just snaps her fingers and someone runs out, like, literally, and sweeps it up and just keeps going. It sounds like you have some dear people that you travel with. Talk to me about your party. Talk to me about your role in it.
Oh, they're always different. There's so many friends that we have in our group. I never know who I'm gonna go with. There's ones that are fun, that like listening to me and want to help me. There's ones that don't like me very much. There's some that pick on me, and they're really mean, but they're still okay. They do the right thing. They just don't want to be around me too much. There's this one orc that seemed to like picking me up and moving me to where I should be, because I apparently wasn't standing in the right place and nearly killed us all. But he looked out for me, but he did yell at me afterwards. I didn't like that. I don't like being yelled at.
I don't think any of us like being yelled at, but I think something that at least most mortals have in common is something that you've experienced. An interest in understand, well, yes, that, but also an interest in understanding where it is we go or what happens after they die. I know you said you don't remember much, but there's nothing that you can tell us about what it was like when you were gone.
The first thing I remember is waking up in the hole. I don't remember anything else. I kind of wish I would. I would like to know whether I was a good person. I would like to know whether I had, like, a brother or parents. I mean, everyone has parents, I suppose, but I don't know if I have parents. They might still be alive. They might not be. They're probably worried about if they're still alive. They're probably wondering where I've gone.
I mean, you have to have parents most of the time to exist, so I dare say you probably do. Whether they're alive or not is a different story.
Oh. That's...
So you don't remember how you died? No. Has there been any investigations you've done into your past lives or how you got here? Anything that you can share or uncover?
There was this one person who I thought was a friend. His name was Ivaeus. He ended up not being a very nice person and was some really evil magic person that I think ended up being a lich. I don't quite remember that part because I wasn't on that mission. I got left behind. They sometimes do that when there's important things to be done. They kind of don't invite me along. I'm only going on missions that they might have very minimal impact on the guild. We've failed a few different things, and it kind of puts a bit of a bad name out there about our guild. So Ivaeus, he once said to me that he could help me, or he knew what happened to me, but then I drove a sword through his chest.
So you chose to drive a sword through the chest of one of the only people that could give you the answers that you might want.
I mean, he hurt Carthus. He hurt my friend.
Speaking of, I guess, there are these people that you journey with. Lots of them. Who have you lost along the way? Not everyone survives a hero's journey.
Well, there's some that have never come back. There's this one guy. He now owns a coffee shop. I don't drink coffee. It doesn't agree with my tummy. But he now owns a coffee shop with his girlfriend. I don't even know whether they're married. They probably should get married. They're a really good couple. She makes pumpkins. She also nearly hurt Carthus one day, but I forgave her for that because she apologized, and Carthus wasn't exactly hurt. He just had a little bit of melon and pumpkin on his face. That was okay though. He's fine.
So this Carthus person, would you say that they're the most important person to you?
Carthus is nice. I like Carthus. He has wings. He can fly. Flying's cool. I wish I could fly.
Is that why he's your favorite?
No, Carthus listens. He's good. He looks after me. He once sang the entire bottles of beer in the war song on our way to this one mission, even though we were told multiple times to stop singing it, but we kept going anyway, and we kept getting interrupted, so we had to keep starting again, and I think he found that endearing and funny, so we kept doing it, and yeah, he's lovely. Is he here? If Coco's here, he's got to be here. Coco made lots of clothes for him, which I think she might have made them a little bit too small because he keeps like stretching at his pants like they're too tight. maybe 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 he's eaten too much and he's put on a little bit, and he might need to get new clothes and get them a little bit bigger next time.
I can tell you that everyone that you've ever cared about or not cared about is watching this evening. Everyone watches my show.
Watching from where?
It's magic. They can watch from anywhere. I guarantee you some shitty little mortals have snuck their way in here also. But we don't care about them. Speaking of people that are important to you and people that have been left behind, have you ever had someone that you care about die? Tell me about them.
Huh?
Oh, sorry, I forgot that you're not very attentive sometimes. Speaking of people you care about and loss and being left behind, is there anyone that you've lost to death?
I'm pretty sure Ivaeus is dead now.
I don't mean someone you killed. I mean someone you care about.
Well, there was this one time that I got tricked into hurting my friends. It ended up, I think, not being real, or maybe it was real and it just got reversed. But that was really mean. It was some I don't even remember what the thing was, but it put me in a room and I was fighting things, and it ended up, when everything sort of calmed down, that they're all my friends and all my friends were dead.
So you killed all of your friends, is what you're saying?
They didn't stay dead. They're still alive. So I don't know if it really happened or not. I could have been sleeping. No, I couldn't be sleeping. I don't particularly sleep. I don't know how to explain that then. Maybe I did. Maybe they're just... Are they ghosts? Are all my friends ghosts? I don't know. Does that make sense? Can that happen?
So many things can happen in this realm of existence, Addison, and I'm sure there's so many that you're left to experience, and I can't wait to bring you back when you have. Unless you don't come back. You could die.
Maybe I'll come back again and forget all of this ever happened.
Maybe you will. Maybe you've been here before. Maybe you don't know.
But if I've been here before, wouldn't you know that I've been here before? Have I been here before? Have we met before?
Maybe. But that's not important right now. What is important is... Do you think you and your party are serving some sort of a greater good? Are you the heroes in this journey?
I don't know. I've known a few heroic people. I don't think I'm heroic. I'm not the type. I think I'm more like sidekick material. I'm just the kind of guy that would probably, Karthus, he'd be a good hero. I could stand behind Karthus and he could be something. He could really do something with his life. The guild is not good enough to have Karthus. Karthus is a good man. I could never be a hero. Too short. I don't think I'd fit.
Trust me when I say I've met truly so many wonderful short heroes. But this group or guild, we all kind of try to put labels or names on things. Do you and your friends call yourself something collectively, some sort of grand name?
The guild has a name. We don't have a name. We're the Guild of Judicial Thunder.
The Guild of Judicial Thunder. Why do you think it's called that?
Oh, that's because of the judge. He's the guild leader. I haven't seen him much. He once yelled at us all when we first turned up, and he ordered his bailiff, who his friend Helmol. Helmol's really scary too. He tells us when we have to go on missions and stuff, and he threw someone through a door, and that didn't go too well, considering we already had the place was fairly run down, and then we had a hole in the door we had to also repair. It ended up getting repaired, but it took a fair while for us to earn enough money to fix the door that he put a hole through.
How much money do you have?
He checks his pockets and a whole bunch of dirt falls out of it. I don't have any money. Most of my money just goes to rent The place I live is out of the way. It's fine. Um, but I don't have I don't have much for myself. Maybe I do. Maybe past me may have been rich. Could I have been assassinated and I'm like a really rich merchant or royal or something, and they're just like waiting for me to come back, and there's like all this money and food and awesome stuff that I just don't have.
So if money isn't what you currently have, or gold, whatever it is that you track as funds, what is it that makes you accept a job or something to go after, a goal?
Well, if it covers my rent, that's okay. And if it's enough that I can then buy things for Carthus, like I said, I like buying things for him. I got him a toad last time, from the swamp place. I think I think he liked it.
Would you say then, maybe, you have taken some jobs or quests that haven't necessarily been the most good intentioned?
Well, we don't really get to pick and choose. Just we end up getting a note, usually usually pinned to our door with a dagger. There's some man going around town just with a pocket full of daggers, just pinning little sheets of paper onto everyone's door that has to go to the guild hall. I don't know where he gets all these daggers from, because I have like, or had, I don't know where they've gone now. They might have been stolen. Someone might have access to my room because I got nothing in there now anyway. I have just all these daggers that they keep leaving in my door. I've got such a hole in the door. I probably should fix that. Maybe if I do another guild quest, maybe I can get enough money so I can fix the door.
I too am partial to a dagger here and there. With these guild quests and adventures, what do you think is the best thing that you've done for the guild, morally? And how about the worst?
The best was probably we rescued this man's daughter, I think. I don't know whether I was a part of that one or not. My memory's still not very great. It's something that's I keep like losing thoughts. But we rescued someone, and they ended up coming in and living in the town because they got lots of money from burning down their own tavern and collecting the insurance money. Or maybe that's more like the worst thing we've done. No, maybe no. That's definitely not the worst. We've done worse. We've done a lot worse.
I'm hearing
Yeah.
from my producers that someone in the audience has muttered, morality is subjective. Do you think that's true?
Morality is subjective. I mean, it could be. I don't think about those sort of things too much. It's something that, I do what I think is good at the time. Typically, if there's food involved, or whether I get to spend time with people and tell stories and collect things, I do what I'm told. Usually, sometimes, maybe not as often as I think.
So if I told you to drive a dagger through someone in the audience, would you do it?
It depends. Have you submitted the correct paperwork to the guild for it to be a guild mission, and who else is coming with me?
Well, the guild doesn't really rule this plane.
Oh. Well, then maybe. Well, who does?
Oh, that would be me.
So am I working for you now? Do I get to go back home, or am I stuck here now?
Oh no, you'll go back home when I'm done with you.
Oh.
You've already touched on this briefly, but I'd like to bring it up because I find it mildly amusing. Your favorite song? 100 bottles
Yes.
of beer on the wall.
Yes.
What's the highest count you've gotten to? Have you gotten to 100 yet?
Well, you see, miss, you actually count down from 100 down to 0.
Okay,
So
have you gotten to 0 then?
I think we have. We generally get pretty close, and then someone in the group tells us to shut up, and I lose my count, and then Carthus suggests that maybe we should start again. So we then start from the top again. I think we've done that maybe like 3 times in total at one point. I did get stared pretty hard by the rest of the party though, and they weren't very appreciative of it.
So,
No one wanted to be near me that night.
you've kind of talked a little bit about your party. I feel like I have an understanding of who your favourite is. Who's your least favourite?
Do you mean that we currently have or previous? Because
Of
Ivaeus
all
wasn't.
the people, aside from Ivaeus, I feel like we know he, drove the whole sword thing. I feel like that's a given. Maybe currently, who's your least favourite that you travel with? Don't worry, I won't tell them.
Least favorite. Look, and he frantically looks around. You can see sweat starting to appear on his face. You said that she was here somewhere. Are you sure that she hear us?
I can have her taken away if you like.
Well, I don't know whether that's necessary. She does make really nice clothes. Not for me though. I'm pretty good how I am, but she is really good at what she does, and everyone tolerates her fairly well. We've done some work for her in the past. She's really nice. She comes on Guild Quest sometimes, but she really does scare me a lot. You don't want to get her angry.
What happens when she's angry?
I think things get thrown, people get hurt. She raises her voice. I have to run and hide, and I don't get seen for like two or 3 months, and it makes it really hard.
Okay. Speaking of, what do you think the most difficult thing that you have overcome currently is? And I want you to really think deeply about this one, Addison. Really cut this audience deep.
The hardest thing that I've had to overcome, uh, that would probably be this one time where I thought that I lost Carthus forever because he had these cards, right? And he offered one to me. I didn't really like what they were, but he drew one, and he got taken away from me, and it made me really sad, and I had to just sit there and really hope and pray and wish and think that he's going to come back, and then he did.
He did. So, are you saying that he was brought back from the dead, or?
Well, he said that he didn't die. He was more maybe sent back in time, or to another plane of existence where his parents were still alive, and he had to relive him blowing them up again.
Not an easy thing to relive, one would assume.
No, but I think he's okay now. He seems okay.
Interesting. I'm hearing a couple of mutterings amongst the crowd. And I guess they would like to know, if you were given the chance to run this guild, what would you do?
Oh, putting me in charge would not be a very good idea.
Well, let's say it was a good idea. What would you do?
Oh no. That's a big responsibility. The first thing I would probably do is I'd probably ask a lot of questions to Helmall, because he's been around a while and knows how things are generally run around here. I would treat everyone well, maybe buy them lunch. Maybe I would. That's a really hard question, miss. There's a lot of things that could go right with that. There's a lot of things that I could really make a mistake on, and I don't like making mistakes, because mistakes usually mean that someone dies or gets hurt, or they things would not go well.
Interesting. Mistakes always end in people dying or getting hurt. Is that what you're saying?
Well, they seem to. There was a mistake made at one point. I wasn't there at the time, but you know that person that I spoke about that now runs a coffee shop? Yeah,
Yes.
well, he got taken away to hell once and held against his will, and we had to send people to go and get him back. I wasn't a part of that, but I heard about the story, and he came back, and he never came and came on a mission with us again after that.
You mentioned that these coffee shop owners, you know, they're in love, should get married, right? So, is that something you've ever considered? Falling in love and getting married?
My concern is that I don't know what I did before I died.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know
life
whether
isn't always about the past. It can be about the present.
but what if I already have someone out there? What if I already have some little Addisons running around? I'd hate to do something. Oh, that's a scary thought that I've got children. Do I have kids?
I can't spoil that for you.
Wait, do you know? Do you know what
Yeah.
happened to me? Can you tell me? Please tell me what happened in the before. I don't
I think
I
this
want to
is
find out.
something you need to discover yourself, Addison.
Oh man. Why does everyone tell me that?
Well, because that's how we learn and how we grow, right? Or we don't, and that develops us also. I must say, I am simply dying to know about this instrument of retribution, this thing that formed as you awoke for the first time. Tell us about it.
Oh, you mean Reeves? Yeah, he's a nice guy, and he summons the sword and drives its point right into the floor beside the
I mean
chair.
more specifically the sword. Tell us about the sword. What does it do? Anything special? Anything fancy?
I mean, it stabs someone.
I mean, yes, that's nice, you know. But anything else? Any magical properties to it?
It's partially see-through. Swords don't typically do that. This
It's
one I can just
incorporeal.
oh, he like ting 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 hits it a bit. It's still there, but it's kind of see-through. I don't have to have it on my person. I can just say, "Hey Reeves, come here," and then all of a sudden he's there. But see that well, I suppose I probably should make this a bit more sense. The sword isn't Reeves. That's not really him. And that's just
Right.
the way that we. I don't know whether it's a gift from him or not, but Reeves himself shows up sometimes when we're in a little bit of a sticky situation. But I don't do that often because typically that means that someone gets their throat torn out.
Oh. What? Okay. Interesting. What is the best thing that Reeves has ever done for you?
He's just kept me company. Like I said, not many people like listening to me. Reeves, he just sits there and listens. I can talk to him for hours and hours, and he listens. Begrudgingly, you hear in your head. I don't know what
I'm
that word means.
I'm starting to understand Reeves just a little bit. I will ask, and I know we've kind of brought up the snacks a little bit, but I have heard rumors that you often pursue these different types of foods and snacks. What's the best thing you've ever laid your eyes on from a culinary perspective?
Ooh. Well, you see, we went to this party once as guests, but it ended up being that the king, I think he was a king, ended up actually being a doppelganger, and we had to remove him from office and find where both Xylene, who Xylene's a friend. She doesn't tolerate me much. She's now married to the current king. Because we found the king. The king was in a cupboard along with Xylene, and we had to
Wow.
then murder the two doppelgangers that were taking their place, and it was a whole thing. And there was a lot of goo in that tunnel. It was a goo tunnel. The tunnel was very sticky.
Okay. Goo. interesting. Not something I've experienced, luckily enough. And you notice that anytime something looks out of place in this studio, like there is already someone on it before she can even click her fingers. You also notice at this point that the food she is looking at a little bit like hasn't been there long, but you get this sense of like it's been there too long for her liking. And before you have even had a chance to kind of try anything, someone runs out and picks it up and whisks it away in almost a way that it is just under your nose as it wanders away.
I wasn't done with that.
There'll be some in the green room. You can pick it up later.
Green room?
It's a room that's entirely green, and you wait in it, usually, but you just blipped in and out. So, speaking of, we blipped you in and out of wherever you were. What was the last thing you were doing before you were here?
Oh, so the last thing that we were doing was we had to go and rescue this nobleman's. It turned out to be his future husband, I think, who also murdered his mother and father. But it got a little bit weird. If you ever come across someone called Phelan, I'd probably steer clear of her. She's a bit weird. She wanted to see someone relieve themselves in an alley. It got really weird. Right.
Listen, I'm not here to yuck anyone's yum. But I guess with that, is there, knowing that you were finishing something up and now the guild has yet to set your next quest, is there someone that the guild knows of that is just constantly a thorn in the side and they just can't get their hands on them? Someone that you've all been seeking for some time that you just can't end.
Well, two things come to mind there. One I think we've already spoken a lot about is Ivaeus.
Right.
I think from memory that we sent someone out. Oh boy, she's not back yet. Our quartermaster, she's another very scary lady. She went out to go and bring Ivaeus back because he ended up like doing some pretty horrible things to the guild. So I hope that she's okay. I hope that she's gone off, has either brought Ivaeus back or dealt with whatever that is. She'll then come back and hopefully she's in a better mood. Maybe not, because I don't actually. She's been away from her wife for a very long time. I don't think she'll be in a great mood if she sees me when she comes back.
Did you do something personally that would make her unhappy with you?
Talk, I think.
Right.
She doesn't like it when I speak my mind. We have to go and see her or her replacement every time we go on a quest, because there's things that we can take with us to help us, and if we don't bring things back, she gets very, very angry. She nearly, from what I understand, nearly tore a man in two who didn't bring something back and lost. And the bailiff Helmol, when he lost an immovable rod inside a shambling mound, he was very, very scared, and he had to go and get it. And he came back and he was all beaten up, broken arm. But he said that was better than whatever she was going to do to him.
That is a lot to process. A lot. So, I'm going to ask you. It sounds like, as someone that likes to talk and enjoys being listened to, there are a number of things that you have likely shared with the people that you travel with. Tell me about, it's just you and I, no one else around.
But there was people that just walked through before.
And you just watch as where this perceived audience is, it goes dark. And you don't see a single soul in sight.
Oh.
Well, it's just you and I. What is something that you have never shared with your party?
But is the magic turned off as well? You said that they can see us.
Oh, yes, the magic is very well turned off.
Oh. He's looking around. He's not entirely sure that you're telling him the complete truth. I guess, I'm a little bit worried that I wasn't a good person before.
Right. What do you think constitutes a good person?
Well, doing the right thing, not making bad choices, not stabbing people who were once your friends in the chest. That, you know, there's been some things that I've done that I haven't been entirely proud of, which I've already said to you, which now makes me a bit scared that there's people watching that have now heard of the things that I've done. But I fear that I've done worse before.
Okay. If you had the chance to go back to one of these moments that does make you feel not like the best person, and you could change it, what moment would it be and why?
Probably I wouldn't have Thunder stepped out of Coco's shop, destroying all of her lovely dresses that she made. That might have meant that she wouldn't be as upset with me as she currently is.
What do you think your relationship with Coco would be like if you hadn't have done that?
I would hope that she'd at least tolerate me.
That's all we can ask for sometimes, right? Do you mind if I turn the magic back on? Actually, this is my fucking show. And you just kind of see these lights all go back on. It's okay. I'm hearing from someone that knows you. Why did Addison not go with the guild member to stop Ivaeus if you hate him truly so much?
Well, I think it might have come down to who got sent. I don't think days and days worth of travel would have been very good. One, for my health, because I don't think the quartermaster would have put up with me, and I may have been the one that she eventually tore in half somewhere 2 or 3 days in and left me on the side of the road and just continued anyway. So maybe they were doing it for my sake and maybe not so much hers.
I want you, Addison, to look back at everything that you've done. From the start, waking up in the dirt, to now, and blipping into here. Give us the condensed overview of the story of your life. I want to hear the 1 minute or less recap of your life from start to finish. Let's go.
Oh no. Okay, so woke up, dug out of hole, realized that I have no idea who I was, picked up guild ID off of dead man beside me, ends up, I might not be the person that I thought I was, he was missing a head, heard Reeves, went to guild, got job in guild quest, go on guild quests, make lots of mistakes, but still somehow manage to get paid for them, survive, annoy a lot of people who end up not really liking me too much, make really good friends with Karthus, do really nice things for him, try and make more friends, and then I end up here, I think. That sums up most of it, I think.
And with all that in mind, I guess, if you could go back to the person that you were before you woke up in that dirt, knowing that you were going to die and that you were going to end up as Addison Rhodes, what would you tell them? What would you warn them? What advice would you give?
Anytime you're offered food, take it straight away, shove it in your face. People seem to want to take things away from you.
I did hear that. I do have a little bit of a spoiler. There is no food in the green room. I may have been paid off by your party to do that.
And he visibly just deflates. You said there was going to be food.
I did. I also am an
I'm really
absolutely
hungry.
filthy liar. I do have another question. I want to know your top 3 favorite things you've ever done.
Ooh. That I've ever done. That's a good one. I think one was that I... 3 things.
Yeah, one comes first.
Right. I think one thing that I think I mentioned before was that I wished really, really hard and I brought Carthus back from whatever nightmare place that he was in. I was pretty proud of that and very happy that I had my friend back. Um, and another one would have to be that while we were that first time that we were up against Ivaeus, where he somehow
Give
charmed
me
or
one moment.
possessed.
The tabaxis are going a little bit crazy. Keep talking.
But I thought there was no one else here. I thought didn't. But you turned the magic on. You said nothing about there being more people here. I'm very confused. You said you were a liar. How much of this is you actually lying about?
Oh, you don't know. I don't lie. I just flourish.
But you didn't you. I'm sure I heard you say that you lied earlier.
Oh, no. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, continue. We're listening.
So the first thing that I can think of was when I wished really, really hard and Carthus came back from whatever nightmare place that he was. I was really happy about that. Carthus is a really good guy, and I would hate for him to be constantly tormented by that. Wait, what? What was the question?
Oh, 3 things. 3 things that you're most proud of.
Oh, the other one was that when we were fighting Ivaeus and the coffee owner Samazan, he got possessed by something, and rather heroically, maybe I did do something heroic. I
There you
was
go.
able to restrain him so that he couldn't hurt any of his friends. But that did mean that he got strangled by some of my rope, though. Maybe that's not that heroic. Maybe that's not a good thing.
It would have been heroic to some, I guess.
Did everyone hear that?
Oh, yes. You are... It's fine. The people in your plane will forget about this when you go back.
Are you sure about that?
Oh, I'm so sure. In fact, I don't even know if you'll remember. How fun.
What?
With that in mind, let's talk about your journey. Where you've been, we've learned a lot about. We've learned about the sword, we've learned about Reeves, we've learned about Carthus, we've learned about Ivaeus and Coco and all of these people that you travel with. We've learned that you don't remember what death is like. We know that you don't know how you got where you were. We know what you'd say to your prior self and about all the food and your favorite song. I would like to know, if you were to think of your journey as a story and the sun were to set on your adventures like some sort of closed chapter, how would yours end? I want you to tell me and describe the closing scene. What would that look like to you, Addison? I'm talking
Well, I
no
hope
more
that it's a
guild.
very-
It's all done. It's wrapped up. You're retiring.
Well, the thing is, I don't particularly think that I'll ever get old. I've been alive for 12 months. I've never had my hair grow. I've never gotten older or bigger. I could probably do this forever. I don't think I'd ever have to retire. I could be immortal.
You could be.
I haven't died.
But that makes this question even more interesting, because would you choose to do this forever, or is there an end that you want for yourself? What if immortality becomes boring? I can tell you it doesn't, but...
Well, I guess if everyone that I know ended up not being in the guild anymore, there'd be no reason for me to hang around so many of my friends. I might follow one of them around and spend time with them if they wanted it. I'd maybe like to find out maybe more about what happened before, but that also scares me because I don't know what I'd find out. And if I find out something I don't really like, then I don't know how I'd feel about that. Especially if the case is that I am immortal and I can't... I'd have to live with that for literally ever.
Oh, yes.
I don't know whether I could do that. I wouldn't run the guild. We've already established the fact that I don't think I'd be a very good leader, and I might just kind of run it into the ground. That would definitely play into some other people's hands really well, though. So maybe they might put a plan in place to put me in the big man's chair, and then oh no.
There's a whole lot of hypotheticals, but let's just say this is some sort of a whimsical movie. What's the happy ending for you?
Hopefully it's involving a lot of soup.
Just endless soup.
Look, I would love to have... And he looks to where the platter had been taken.
Yeah.
I would just really like some soup.
A particular type?
I'm not picky. It's been forever since I've had anything, really. I'm so hungry.
She pulls out this little notepad and writes down something that you can't see, but she writes it down and then closes this notebook. His
little neck is craning out, trying to look over.
You feel like you can see,
you, but just
you feel like you can see briefly the word soup. Don't worry, I will let your overlord know.
His name's the judge. He doesn't like overlord.
I prefer to call them the DM, but hey, here we are. However, all of the people you care about are currently watching. They are not the entire time, but they are watching right now. What is one message you would like them to all hear, Addison?
Can I start off with saying, sorry to those that I've done something wrong to, or that I've revealed something that's going to annoy someone. I think I may have said some things here that may come back to bite me when I what did you say?
It's okay. They won't remember. It's fine. You were summoned.
Oh, I can do that too. As his shadow starts taking a bit more of a form. Don't bring me here. As a face sort of appears in his shadow.
You see security approach the sides of this stage. It's fine. Keep going. Keep going. It's fine.
Everyone calm down. It's okay. It's all right. Calm down. Sorry. Is Reeves okay to stay there?
Oh, yeah. He's fine. He's fine. Hello, Reeves.
What was I being
Welcome.
asked again? Don't trust you.
I wouldn't
Beer.
either.
Scary, strong women.
I am so strong. Everyone you care about is watching right now. Since we have Reeves with us also. what is a message that you have for the people that you love? And what is Reeve's message for the people that you love?
Reeves, again in your head, just goes, "Send me back."
And Addison? It's like notable gasps from the audience at this point as well that have like just had to deal with this in their brains.
To those out there that I've wronged in the past, I'm sorry. I hope that I can make things better. Maybe if you let me know that you want something, the next time that I bring something back for Karthus, I might be able to bring something back for you. But just be careful how many of you ask for it, because it was really hard catching that toad last time, and finding a jar that wasn't broken somewhere in the middle of a swamp was really, really hard. So if there's more than like 5 of you, that might make things a little bit difficult. So you may have to wait, and maybe I can write down all your names and maybe give you a number, and then next time I come back, if you give me your number and you're next in line, but I'm not too good with numbers, that might not work. Maybe it's like a ticket. I can give you all a ticket, and then if you're the first person to find me, it could be a game. You could come up and find me when I come back from my next trip, and if you give me your ticket, I can then give you something from the place that I've been.
Like a fun little trinket or something. I hear you like those.
Yeah. You know, there was a snow globe that I brought back once. I think Karthus really liked that one. I got told to hold on to it and not go inside this house that we were going into.
Excellent. Definitely never go into the house. Unless it's going to be worth my while hearing about next time.
I think they were just telling me to do something so that I didn't get in the way. I didn't think about it at the time because I had this really cool snow globe, but then the more I think about it, the more I think maybe they were just doing this so that I didn't get in the way. I'm very small though. I don't see how I can get in the way of
I don't
things.
see how you can get in the way. You're quite small.
Yeah.
That being said, sometimes people tell you that they don't want you to get in the way for a couple of reasons, and it's not always necessarily that they don't want you around. Sometimes it's that they want to protect you. So, with that in mind, I would like you to sign us off, Addison. Tell us about yourself, really quickly, to the audience who have never met you before, except for some, I can't tell you who. This is your chance to give people your words of wisdom, advice, and leave a mark on my not-so-small plane. The stage is yours.
How many people are watching?
If I told you, I might have to kill you again.
That's a very hard thing to do.
Challenge accepted.
I guess. Oh no. And his back's back up against the back of the chair. To everyone that's watching, eat good food, make good friends, and don't annoy Triton tailors. They hold grudges and will try and stuff you into a sailor suit. Thank you.
And that, guys, gals, and NB pals, was Addison Rhodes. And I am Wisteria Daggerford. Remember, darlings, not all heroes wear capes. Some wear blood-stained armor and unresolved trauma. That's all we have for you right now. But stick around, I hear there's some mortal bullshit that's about to come. I guess they'll be right back. Or at least I will. Until next time, darlings.
I am flabbergasted. I am befuddled by the buffoonery before me.
Obedient?
What? What the fuck? Obedient?
That's one.
Cheers.
you're next to so fucking wisely.
Right, they've both been bitten by people that are infected by this disease. That's a problem. As far as he knows, Eden hasn't, and so Eden's the only one who can get on the boat at this stage.
I haven't.
Yeah, but Belle's been really fucking mean. And so his concern is for the chick who just kissed him, as opposed
Oh, wow.
To be fair, you
love how
did
you
also
What
call
was
out
I
the player.
supposed to do? Kiss my brother?
I'm sorry, what?
Wait, all right, hang on.
Okay, hold on.
Hang on.
Hold
I
on.
came back from the dead to say that.
Hold on.
It is. This is a dowry.
Was that your love language? Just throwing logs? Great.
Correct. Random acts of lumberjacking is my love language. That's. Remember that
Explains
time I
so
dropped a tree on top of you?
Oh my
Now
god,
you know.
okay, now I understand. That was like the ultimate. Yeah, okay, great.
In which case, Valentin's gonna just very sneakily mount her and place his dagger at her throat.
Fucking knew it, you little bitch. Okay,
And
great.
in her ear, wake her with the words, "It's my turn. Tybella." And he'll wait for her to wake at this point.
And she does immediately.
There are approximately 3 or 4 people on the face of this cursed earth who know who I truly am. And most of them want me dead. So far, you don't seem to be one of them. And I'm lonely. Shall we have a little chat? You can inflict whatever you want on me, whatever you want. You know this. So you say you have strong opinions. Please elaborate.
I have strong feelings more than opinions.
Sure. Feel me up. No? Produce your...
Okay, Elliot's in the boat. There's 2 more seats in the boat.
I can sit on someone's lap.
Fuck off! Get your own boat!
Oh no.
What the fuck? Wow. Oh, okay.
I don't know if you can see what my options are, but option 1.
Hang on, let me pull these up over here. So this is option 1. Do you want to read it out for us, Emily? Can you?
I'm sorry, I cannot. I simply can't.
Do you want me to read it out? God.
I'm
Okay.
not crazy, I just got power word killed. Hamish,
Yeah?
Do it.
stop trying to stick your flute up his butt.
Whoa! Holy shit!
Oh my god! Why did you do that?
I do want to watch this though.
I have.
Fuck, I should have taken my clothes off.
met few aside from
Truly should have.
And turn to face the guards that are approaching Marcus.
Absolutely.
She's going to start approaching with her arms out to the ground.
Okay.
And as she's doing this, her dress, which we all remember was made of beautiful leaves, are going to start falling as though it's autumn.
Okay.
Her entire body is going to become covered in vines, and as the vines fall away, her armor and all of her weapons are back.
Excellent.
She's going to stand in front of Marcus
Quick roll
with
a
her
D10.
shield on one arm and her sword in the other, and she's going to widen her stance with her sword towards the guards, and she's going to be like, come on, boys.
So, with a very blunt knife and a lot of tears, Blue painfully, slowly cut off her best friend's arm to save his life as a child. And even to this day, if she closes her eyes to go to sleep, she can still and see, like, just, you know, what it's like to cut off someone's arm. The one thing she would change about that is that despite her efforts and despite everything it took, she cut off the wrong arm and her best friend died anyway. So, if she had to change anything, it would be to go back in time and pick the other arm. You're welcome.
Talk about burying the fucking lead.
Wow. Okay, yeah. That. I'm not trying to hurt you, but I also have no reason to lie to you, Scarlet. Hey, welcome to the Mortal Bullshit. My name's Emily. I'm hanging out here and in total shock and horror as to whatever's occurred over the last X amount of time. Thanks for hanging out. And hey, thanks, Judge, for joining us this evening.
It's me!
It's you! Thank you so much for agreeing to be a part of the very first This Is Your Quest line. I want to make sure that the people know who you are, what you're up to, so tell us who you are. Where can people find you? What have you been working on?
Brilliant. I am JudgeRPG. I'm predominantly a TTRPG streamer now. Started out as an RPG streamer, thus why it's in the name. But I run a series of one-shots called the Guild of Judicial Thunder, which is where Addison came from. I'm one of the primary DMs on that channel, as well as 4 other people, so we rotate through. So it gives me a chance to play my characters as well. I'm also the DM for Alderloft Adventures, which is our long campaign, which runs, twice a month. The guild stuff, you guys can join in on. It's a rotating cast of people. Anyone who wants to learn how to play the game or has been playing since, wizards were magic users, more than happy for anyone to come in and have a go. I love it.
I love that. I think that's such a cool concept to me because, I am such a new GM. So for me, I'm so focused on trying to keep everyone together and to not let them split the party and all of that sort of stuff.
Yep.
So to go through a rotating situation, that's so cool. That's so much fun. I love that.
It's been great, and we've been doing it now for maybe 3 years now.
Yeah.
And it used to just be me. I would just be the DM every month, and then a few people were like, oh, look, can I jump in and give it a go? And I'm like, yes, because that means that I can play. And I've got 2 or 3 characters that I sort of rotate through, but Addison was my first one and a bit of a fan favorite.
Yeah. I wonder
Yeah.
why. Jeez, it was real cool. It was really cool.
It's so much fun.
I kind of want to learn, so I want to learn a little bit more about Addison and about the character, and I think it's such a fun, quirky character. I read the backstory and the reborn situation, and about waking up and not knowing who you are, and about basically stealing someone's name. Very, very cool thing. So, talk to me about conceptually where, you started with this character. What was the first thing that you built for this character?
So, I with most of my characters that I do build, it's usually I build the person first.
Yeah.
I don't label them with race or class or ability scores or whatever else. I go, okay, what sort of character do I want to play? Because predominantly all the stuff that I do, it's RP heavy.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of min-maxing or,
Right.
combat after combat after combat. It's all, I want to embody this person and play them. So I'll go, right, with Addison, it's like, okay, actually, Addison's an interesting one because he started out different to what he ended up as. I started building him as kind of that plucky little hero, I'm gonna do good in the world. I'm gonna get out there and do stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know the turning point, but I think it was somewhere in the first guild quest he was in that he started going a little bit motor mouth, and it got such a reaction that I'm like, okay, hang on. We might have just pivoted into something fun here.
Yeah.
And it worked out well because his stats played into that as well. So incredibly low wisdom.
Right.
So
okay.
he's oblivious to whatever's going on around him. He's just like, I'm just talking to you. You're my friend. Da 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 da. There could have been like explosions going on or stuff
Yeah.
happening or whatever, and he'd be like, "Oh, that's cool, whatever. I'm talking soup."
Yeah. I'm just gonna hydrate because the chat has asked me to.
Easy. You know what? I'll follow suit.
Okay, appreciate that. You don't
but-
have to. Don't listen to my chat.
This is for you guys.
That's cool.
But yeah, so I start out with the idea for the character first, and then I go, okay, what style of character would that person be?
Yeah.
For Addison, I wanted him to be predominantly a melee fighter, but
Mm-hmm.
be that sort of little bit of spell castery sort of stuff as well. So that's why a Hexblade Warlock kind of fit really well for him. And I and anyone who knows me knows that I love playing short characters.
Okay. I feel like we
So-
all have something, right? That we all kind of
Everyone's
cling
got it.
on to. Yeah.
Yeah. I refuse to play an elf character. I
Yeah, okay.
don't want to play an elf.
Yeah.
I have no interest in playing.
We all have one of those too. Like, we all have one of those things.
I think that comes from playing dwarves so often that it's just like bled into my own personality. I'm like, yeah, you tall tree people suck, and I just
Okay, fair.
don't ever want to play an elf.
As a resident elf player, fuck you.
Ooh.
No.
But I wanted to do a halfling because halflings are amazing. But I wanted something else in there. I wanted that weird little twist, and Reborn was cool because it's like, well,
Yeah.
you stick with what your race was, but there's other stuff there.
Yeah.
So in the world itself, there's only really Karthus that knows that Addison's undead, and anyone who's like a paladin that might have like divine sense of like, hang on a second, what the hell's going on with this little thing? But yes, so I think Reborn, pretty cool concept,
Cool.
and that's where the idea came out of. Well, maybe he's just resurrected. Like, we're not really sure what did it to him. Reeves is part of that whole thing that probably
Yeah.
like, spirit of vengeance, like, you're gonna be my chosen warrior sort of thing. Probably regrets that now. He's saddled with someone that he probably can't stand, but I mean, hey, a signature's a signature on a contract, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, then from there, built out the rest of the character. For the guild quest, we keep stats standard. We don't roll for stats. We want to keep everything as fair as possible.
Yeah, cool.
So I just assign my stats,
Yeah. Standard
spells
array.
and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
We do that just because, people will come in and build a character, not really sure what they're doing if they're fairly new, and you don't want to be
Yeah.
overshadowed by someone who's like, yeah, I rolled really well, and all of a sudden I'm doing all this cool stuff, and they're like, well, I have like an 8 in strength, and I can't even swing a sword.
I guess as well you have a rotating cast, so like you've got
Yes.
to figure out how to, balancing parties is like a whole thing that we all kind of talk about, not necessarily even from a player perspective, from like from the GM chair. Like, it's like, how do I balance an encounter? How do I do this? At least I guess when you have something like that, you've got an idea of what everyone's kind of working with, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I love that. I think I love that you've mentioned building the person first, because that's how I build characters. I write a story first and then kind of figure what fits with the story that I've written. So like, and you've mentioned that developmentally, like, there was something that happened and you were like, oh, okay, this became fun and interesting. Is there another moment that you've had with that where it's like added an additional layer, or maybe even something that went the opposite way where you were like, oh, I've leaned into this and actually I'm gonna pull back on that now?
So one of the ones that that Drakai DM for, which was where the whole like stabbing Ivaeus one came from.
Right.
Part of his story was we returned to the city where Addison was buried.
Mm-hmm.
And so it got to be a really cool RP section where I was able to have this real deep conversation with Karthus about, like, this is where it all happened. This is where I came back. Kind of drop that whole hyperactive child thing to get real serious. Like, this is like where I was born again. Like, this is why is this happening? Who am I and how have I come here? So I love those points, and I'm really thankful for Drakai to actually bring
Yeah.
Give me the chance to do that as well, because it's easy enough just to go, okay, you turn up to the place, you talk to the person, you kill the big thing, you go home. But being able to give a one shot where, you know, the characters may come back again, to be able to still let them have that development piece as well.
Yeah. Yeah. No, cool. Fuck yeah. Xavier, no one asks if you mind this. I'm going to ask it. And if anyone else in the chat has any questions for Judge, please absolutely send them through. I am
please.
but a mouthpiece here. Xavier would like to know, what is it? Is there something that inspired the creation of Addison? Like, what was the inspiration there initially?
It was definitely that I wanted to start off with that unassuming hero, the little guy that's going to do something big in the world. You know, I didn't quite know where it was all going to go, but it was like, okay, he's joining up. He found the guild ID. I'm going to go to the guild, find out who I am, and do some good along the way. Yeah.
It's cool. You've like fully embodied the "I'm just a little guy" thing and turned it into a character. I love that. That's funny. Is there any, like, speaking of inspiration kind of behind the characters, I think a lot of people sometimes pull from two different things. Yourself and also references in pop culture, music, film, television. Is there anything that you've taken from yourself that presents within Addison, and anything that you've taken within pop culture that is like an homage to this character?
I'm growing up, I was a fairly short person as well. I think I've averaged out now, maybe. I don't know. But it was that sort of thing that, you know, the unassuming person in the background, you know, wanting to do well, but sort of in the background, never at the forefront. That's kind of where I kind of had that personal inspiration, I guess.
Yeah.
And I guess the reverse on the pop culture inspiration, where I had this, you know, the Hexblade idea, summoning his sword, all that kind of stuff. I've just recently finished off the Stormlight Archives by Brandon Sanderson. I don't know who's read that. But then I'm like, hang on a minute, has he been listening in? Has he stolen my idea? Like, I did this first, I'm sure.
Yep. I love that. If your character was to be portrayed in a live action film, what actor would play your character?
So, first of all, before I give you my actual answer on this one, I've got a couple of pieces of art that I've had done up of Addison, and as an inspiration for that, I did a like a Mid-Journey art piece.
Yep.
And this
is
was way
the
back
art
when.
You sent me, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
I'll share this in the Discord also afterwards. I just didn't want to spoil anything beforehand.
Strawberry's gonna hate this, but the little like chibi sticker art thing, Strawberry did that. Strawberry's an amazing artist. Yes, Strawberry can hate me after this.
You heard it here first.
But yeah. But the I tried putting it back through to do some modifications, because you can now like keep the character going through multiple panels and stuff. Yeah. And it spattered back out as looking like Jack Black. I'm like, that is completely incorrect. I would not, no way would I have Jack Black playing Addison. Yeah. No, definitely not. Who would play him? See, my immediate thought would go basically to what he kind of is, and maybe like, and again, I can't think off the top of my head what their names are, but the guys that play Merry and Pippin in Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, okay, love that.
You know, obviously they're a hell of a lot older now, and they're gonna probably look like they're not a, however old Addison is, halfling, but just that same sort of like, I'm completely oblivious, like, oh, where do we go in, like sort of thing. That's their sort of way they play Merry and Pippin kind of suits to what Addison would kind of be too.
Okay, love that. Slay. I don't know why I can like immediately picture now two people at once playing the same character. So now my brain's just gone to this weird amalgamation place. But we got a couple of questions in chat that I'm gonna redirect to.
Yes.
So, got a DM question here. As a DM, how do you decide what level your players will start at in a campaign or a one-shot?
Okay, so for the guild quest, everyone starts at level 5.
Okay.
Yeah, and no one levels up. We are perpetually level 5.
Why level 5?
Few reasons. First reason is it keeps everyone at the same level, so no one gains experience. We're not going to have people who have been in 4 or 5 that are now like level 7, pulling along the little, newbie level 5s. Come on, kids, let's go. But I find that level 5 is you get enough things to do as your character. Everyone's got their subclass. You've got people getting 3rd level spells. You've got multiple attacks per turn for your martial characters. It's giving enough for everyone to try the whole suite of things that their character can do.
Yeah. Are you still playing in 2014 core rules, or are you...
Again, yes, just because it keeps everything even for everyone.
Yeah.
Because not everyone can get the new books or all that kind of gear.
100%.
So we go, no, we stick with 2014. And when people put a character forward to me, I put it just as printed material. So no homebrew, no third party, none of that. It's just whatever WotC's put out, those are the books you can use.
Yeah, okay, love that.
And as far as if I'm doing another campaign, it all depends on the setting, all depends on the players. You have that discussion with the players. For my campaign that I've been doing for 2 years now,
wild passage
we did
time.
a little bit different. I know. Mind you, they've only just got out of the tutorial area because they keep faffing about constantly.
I relate to that so hard.
It's ridiculous. Like, I've got all these, and again, you being a DM and have this as well. It's like all these things in your head going, oh, this is gonna be so cool.
I'm barely a DM, but yes.
And they'll enter into a random tavern and throw a chair at someone. You're like, but you wanted to go and get the magic gem from the temple that's over this way. Why would you just go and do something stupid? Like, all right, fine, let's roll up an encounter. Oh, God.
Yeah.
But I did something really cool for that one where, because I wanted to force my ideas upon my players. And I wanted them all to make their person first.
Okay.
So their class was commoner. They could give me their race. They got, 10 in all their stats. They got whatever their background gave them as far as skills. And we played a session 0 out, and then depending on what their choices were throughout that session 0, depended on who they got apprenticed to get their class and subclass.
That's so interesting.
So it ended up that we had Drakai was then a paladin of conquest and got taken away by a rather scary lady and beat up for a good 6 months. We had it fun, wasn't it, Drac? Our Kenku ended up being an alchemist.
Yeah.
Because he was a crow that got potions tipped on him by an alchemist in town. Alchemist felt sorry for him, so he trained him. We had a Triton that ended up being a ranger. Ended up being a Drake Warden, so she had a little dragon pet, which is pretty cool.
Speaking of, I believe someone that you just mentioned, Drakai, has just raided with a party of 9. Thank you so much for the raid.
Drac.
And, I hope you get to watch back all of the super, super nice and nasty things. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. But hey, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. Please continue.
Isaiah sucks. I'll say it again.
Good call. Hey, listen. Not a thing that you said. Good golly.
Yeah, so then the other 2 players was a human bard and a gnome forge domain cleric. So it was really cool to have them kind of just make these decisions within the session and then get assigned whatever it was that fit them as a character, not like, I'm going to play a cleric, so here's how I would build my cleric.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I really like that. That's fun. I've never done that before, but that's an interesting... I've read, like, variations of that, too, where it's like, oh, you get everyone to play, like, people that have forgotten everything about themselves, and they learn it as they go. Like,
They're
all
cool
of these...
as well.
Like,
yeah.
It's cool, so I like it. It's like a fresh take on the thing. We got another question in chat. This one is a little bit, I feel like, easier, and I feel like we almost answered it, but what would Addison's favorite food be and why? And I feel like the answer is soup, but if I'm wrong, correct me.
yeah, soup or stew or something like that. You know, he just... Oh, another raid.
Oh my gosh, what is happening?
Hey, Burke.
Oh my gosh. Hello, Perk Time Gaming. Thanks for the raid. We're just hanging out and talking character creation. Goodest of gollies. Help me. I'm joined by JudgeRPG tonight as we discuss little character stuff. It's fun.
Burke's played in a couple of sessions as well. He plays Oz.
Love that.
Yeah.
There you go. All your people coming out to support you. I love that.
Anyone coming in that doesn't have to do with the guild and is not already following Emily, you hit that button.
Yeah, otherwise you never get to level
Hit
up
that
anyway.
Empty threat. It's great. Do it.
Hey, you'll never get to level up, but you don't know that you won't. Good golly. Shit.
Yeah, sorry, what I'm really
Where
playing
were
Addison
we?
here. What was the question?
I'm flustered now.
What was asked?
I feel like I was about to... Food. We were talking about food.
Yeah, yeah.
But
he will never get to eat. I love that little thing. I told her all the
It was
in
fun.
like my expression of Addison was like, just don't never let him eat.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to. He's a reborn that doesn't need to eat, but he's also a halfling that loves to eat. Don't let him near food. It's a running
I love fun
joke.
little concepts about like, hey, this is like an integral part of the thing where it's like they can't do this, but I want them to, and they want to, and this is like it's a fun little, like, I don't want to say bit because I feel like that takes away from the story, but like it's a fun little bit. I think that's cool.
It is, because it relies on just not you playing the character, but someone else sort of playing off what you're doing as well. And when you've got amazing DMs, it'll kind of go, I see what you're doing here, and I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
This is great.
Not only am I going to keep going with it, I'm going to take it to the next level so hard. Got another question in chat. Given that Addison is a character made for one-shots, how would you develop him in a campaign if it was long-serving?
This is the thing that I've always struggled with as well, because I've made this character, and I love Addison. Playing him is just amazing, but I know he'll never get anywhere else, because I don't like replaying characters. You get confused, you know, all of a sudden you're playing a character that's level 5, but then also someone that's now level 10, and but if I was to do it, thank you, Xavier, there would I'd like his personal story to delve more into his life before.
Yeah.
You know, I would leave it up to the DM to work out whether it was good or bad, or if he has a family or whatever else. Like I as the player want to be surprised by what actually has happened. Like, I've got Addison now. Tell me what he did before.
Which is cool because you also get the opportunity to sit in the literal DM seat in this rotating situation. So it's like, it's a fun dynamic. It's real cool. It's really cool.
It's great, and it's the guys that I've got that are doing the DM. We're all different but are similar, and we all want the world to work. So everyone within the guild itself, everyone has their own handler, I guess, that they go to once they've... So, let me take one step back.
Go for it.
Everyone gets a note stuck to their door or some way that they're told they're on the quest.
Yeah.
And in my Discord, we do a pre-quest RP where everyone gets to introduce themselves, go to the guild, meet the quartermaster, or in the current case, the standing quartermaster, because the other quartermaster hasn't come back yet. Get something from the guild coffer. So I've got like a list of magic items that they can take from that they return at the end. So everyone gets something special they can use. And then when the guild quest starts, they meet whoever the DM's handler is. So I've got Helmore, which is my my mascot, my bailiff, who in my background you can see is also on a body pillow.
Yeah, so fucking hilarious.
Actually, you probably can't see it on.
Please, if you're comfy, please show the chat because it's fucking hilarious. It's so good. Yeah, excellent. Slay, love it, beautiful.
I can't remember what their name is now, but Valiant Odyssey.
Oh yeah. Fandom portals. Yeah.
Yeah. He drew my boy up.
Yeah, cool.
So he's my in-guild handler. So when I'm running a session, they all meet with Helmall. Helmall gets pissed off because everyone's faffing about and is close to quitting and runs off and hates what life has thrown at him and all that kind of gear. And then everyone else has got their own character that they meet before going on the quest. So it's everyone's got their own little piece, and I love seeing what they all do with it because great, it's my world that I've started, but everyone starts doing their own stuff and it just builds and builds and builds, and it's just so cool.
Yeah. I think you mentioned that the campaign and the despite it being kind of rotating, it's very RP heavy. So like as Addison, what do you think has been the hardest thing for you to RP and the easiest thing for you to RP?
I don't know, because I'd be leaning more towards saying the constant motor mouthing, because I'm an introvert, but I have learnt to be a little bit extroverted. You know, hey, streamer, we're all kind of a little bit having to talk to people and, you know. I don't know. I guess when it comes to the combat side of things, it does put the brakes on stuff, considering that like a Hexblade War can only do one of two things in combat. You either swing your sword or you shoot something with Eldritch Blast. Like it's fairly limited. But it's also that thing of I don't want to overshadow the other players as well. Like, okay, it's my stream, but I've got to make sure that everyone gets their turn. Everyone, like Addison is already a fairly outgoing character. If I've got newbies that are coming along for the ride, I don't want to kind of always stand in front of them and go, hey, you know, I'm doing stuff now. So it's making sure that Addison gets to be Addison, but also allowing everyone else to still have their turn in the spotlight too.
Okay. No, I think that can be tough too. No, I get you. We do have another DM question in the chat, which is, what's your DM strategy advice when players throw you a chaos curveball in a session?
Embrace it. Absolutely embrace it. So, okay. Recently we had in Old Loft Adventures, our gnome cleric got drunk and attempt to pimp out his freshly raised dead. That was unexpected for someone that I didn't think would be doing so. Poor Timothy. I know. He didn't last much longer after that.
Throw approximately 4 ancient black dragons back at them. Jeez. NVCDM, no, not allowed.
You can do that. Well, here. But it's knowing that the player's done this for a reason. You know, they're wanting, like, you can't just go, okay, cool, that happened, or no, we're not doing that, but allowing them to still have their fun with what they're wanting their character to do. As long as it's within the story and what they would actually do. Like, you're not going to have the wizard go, well, I'm just going to, you know, start swinging a sword at whatever, and why are you doing that? I mean...
When did you get a sword, buddy?
I like it when my players start becoming creative for things as well. So if they've put enough thought in something to say, well, this is what I want to do. Okay, cool. Then you've got to think, how am I going to make sure that happens in a way that it still makes sense for the story?
I'm going to ask you a character in the flavor of Wisteria, and that is, have you ever fudged a roll negatively to disadvantage your character?
As a player character?
As a player, yeah.
No.
Ooh,
the way the dice roll is, as a character, but the way the dice roll is how I play it.
Okay.
As a DM, you know, there are times there where you're like, well, we got to kind of, what's going to make the most sense of the situation? Like, how am I going to make sure that this hasn't just completely murdered this person, which is important for this part of the story? But as far as a player, how the dice land.
Yeah. Okay, I love that. And Hard same, for the record. I've, like, one of my DMs is in the chat. Hard same. Like,
is that an admission of guilt there? It's like, I've done it, I swear I haven't done it.
I'm just curious. Okay, I'll let you know the reason why I say this, right? There is, I've definitely, to be fair, to be very, very clear, I've definitely asked, or said, hey, I think I would probably not be in a position where this is a role I would succeed. Like, the mindset of this character is not a thing where I feel like they would succeed this role. I've never lied about the dice number as a player on the face of my dice, because it feels, you're right, it feels, the dice help tell the story, right? But I live by a saying in TTRPG where I think there is fun in failure. A lot of people are scared to fail, or to not pass a specific skill or success check, and I feel like that's where the fun comes from sometimes, is, hey, you want to do this really cool thing? It doesn't have to be comedic. It can be like a cool turning point or learning point for your character. So I guess I wonder sometimes whether, as DMs, sometimes we do this because it's a thing that serves the story.
Yep.
But I wonder sometimes if players do it.
Here's a return question on that same sort of vein as well. So when making a new character, I suppose do you like rolling for stats, or do you go like point buy or standard array, or what's your preferred way to do it?
I'm going to be so honest with you. Stats as a player mean nothing to me. And the reason for that is that, like, I don't care about being the best at the thing that I'm trying to do. I care most about trying to tell a cool story, whether that's in the player or the DM chair. I'm just a little guy.
The reason why I asked that is I've just recently built 2 characters for 2 new campaigns that I'm going to be a part of.
Exciting.
I know, and we've gone for rolling for stats, and so that can have varied results. And in one of these ones I did, the DM was gracious enough to say, roll your stats 3 times and pick which one you want. Personally, I say roll them twice, pick whichever you want, because anyway, that's my way of sort of doing it.
Yeah.
And out of the ones that I rolled, I don't think, well, the best stat roll that I did, I don't think I rolled lower than a 13.
Wow. Yeah, okay.
I didn't choose that stat combination for my character. Because I like, and this is what prompted me, I like having a negative stat.
Yeah.
I like having particularly either wisdom or charisma, that as your dump stat, where you can role play off that. You're either, in Addison's case, they're completely oblivious, no idea what's going on around me, I'm tunnel visioning in on telling you this story or singing this song, or having an abysmal charisma where you've got no idea how to talk to people. You're trying to tell someone off and go, hey, you listen here, mister, you shouldn't be doing, and they're not listening into a single thing you say because you're not threatening in the slightest. Having a negative stat is a good thing when building a character.
I agree. I think you have to, when you have a negative stat as a character, you have to make active choices about how to handle that, right? Because, and I think sometimes, I think we forget, particularly with negative stats, and I found this, I'm very lucky with my current group. They are very good at just telling cool stories. But I've definitely played in things in the past where it's often forgotten that despite your stats, whatever you roll, the character always believes they've done the best that they physically can.
Yes.
No matter the outcome. You can roll a nat 1 and your character doesn't go, oh, I didn't even try. You still tried. You just didn't do good.
Yep.
And I think that can always be an interesting point of contention when it comes to particularly stats, because I'll be honest, as a player, stats are my least favorite part.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I only use not necessarily the number, but where the numbers differ from one another to have changes in my, not even personality, but just how my character conducts themselves.
Yeah.
Like if they're going to have a low intelligence, I'm going to not be up the front trying to solve the puzzle that we've been given by the DM, because my characters look at that and go, I've got no idea what the hell's going on here. I just want to beat the biggest thing that comes in through that door.
Yeah.
So it kind of it gives me a bit more of an idea of how I should be playing my character as well. Not necessarily, I'm really good at intelligence, I'm the smartest thing around here.
Yeah. I guess kind of while we're on stats, and I feel like you touched on your dump stats, but like, okay, I'm posture checking. I'm so sorry. Hey, thanks for the redemption, Lady Louie. Your dump stats. What are they typically for every character, or you know, if your go-to dump stat versus your go-to, I'm putting all my points into this.
It varies depending on the character that I'm playing.
Yeah.
I lean more towards wanting to play high charisma characters again, because I like the RP aspect of things, so I want to be able to have conversations. But typically I will dump either strength or dexterity if I'm going something martial. So it's either, you know, if I'm going to be a tin can walking around, dexterity is going in the bin because I don't need it. I'm not going to be jumping from the rooftop or dodging things too quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah, typically it'll be like either strength or dexterity depending on the character, or even wisdom. Wisdom's a bit of a fun one to play around if given the opportunity to have a low stat in it.
Yeah. Love that. I'm very much I never put any points into strength ever. And I'm usually a quite high charisma or wisdom based character. I want that insight, baby. Like, that's what I want. Is there kind of one of those skills in the list that aren't your main stats that you're like, I really want that, because mine is always insight?
Insight. Now, I just looking through my list here now. One of the charisma ones, either persuasion, intimidation, or deception. In fact, I don't think I've really ever put deception as one of my main skills.
Maybe that's your next one.
Could be. Could do that. Look out, future DMs that are in the chat there. I could be a sneaky little deceptive guy.
Sneaky little guy. Good golly. I guess, like, similar question asked in character, I guess, watching Addison and how they've developed over time, if you, sitting in the DM chair, had to predict how their story ended, how do you think that would happen? Is this the type of guy that's dying in the line of fire? Is this the kind of guy that's like settling down and having a happy ending? Like, what does this look like for Addison?
I would like Addison to have a happy ending, I think. But how that looks, I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
Whether it's a, Reeves thinking that, okay, Addison, you've done enough, you can rest, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And ending their pact, which in turn, the power that kept Addison up is no longer there.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the whole, like, throwing yourself in front of whatever's gonna kill the party. Yeah. I'd rather find a way to get out of it alive with everyone else alive, more so than being the ultimate sacrifice kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'd probably like the whole thing of Reeves going, I think you've done what you needed to have done. You've found out who you were. I'm content. Vengeance has been served or whatever. You can now rest. I think I like that idea.
Yeah. And I know in your backstory, you came up with the name Addison by just stealing it from someone else.
Yeah.
How did you come up with it? I was going to say.
I don't know. It was a name that I kind of had. Like I randomly kind of just think of things as I'm just wandering around, like, oh, that's a cool name, or I've got this really cool idea for a character. Like, let's go. I've got a whole folder full of half-made characters there because I get ideas, but it was a name that kind of stuck out, and it didn't suit the character, but how I kind of tacked the two together
Yeah.
made sense.
Yeah.
You know, grabbing someone else's ID that's fallen in battle and going, oh, I don't know who I am, so I guess this guy might be as good as anyone.
Yeah.
And you know, the whole, okay, well, he's part of a guild. Maybe they can tell me why he was here and why I'm buried and what's happened, and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
Trying to find names suck, by the way. Trying to come up with character names, like,
it's real tough. It's real tough,
Yeah.
and I am definitely a little bit different in the way that I always feel like my name needs to mean something, which I like. Is the way you've come up with your name makes so much sense for your character, because they are someone that's like woken up and doesn't know who they are or what happened to them or what type of person they were, and so they've just onboarded an identity that they've found, so it makes sense. But I find myself consistently kind of trying to find names that represent the story I've written. And it can be so tough. It can be so hard.
One thing that irks me a little bit with names is people that give their characters surnames that suit what they are currently. So, you know, like whoever Swift Arrow, the Ranger. Great. When you were born, how the hell did you know that in 20 years' time you were going to be shooting a bow?
Yeah.
That annoys me a little bit. Like, get a bit more creative.
The corny part of me loves that. The corny part of me loves that because it's like, my fate. I found it. Like it's kind of it's fun. But also like I'm a little Disney princess girly, so like it all makes sense to me. And I think sometimes I think if you have a character that like really leans into that, like, oh, my name was my true destiny, like it can be like a fun little lame. Yeah, I feel like it can be fun.
If you can play into it, okay, but there's a lot of people that are just like, no, this is my name and this is what I do.
I've definitely fantasy name generated a bunch in my time, and I will not dismiss it because sometimes a bitch gets desperate.
As a DM, I will use whatever names I come across, because there's certain people, you know who you are. Oh, what's this random person we've come across name? Who are they, and who are their family, and what job do they do? And
yeah, no, I love a little corny story. Knowing kind of like another thing I talk about a lot is shower thoughts. And one of my shower thoughts that I like consistently go back to is if there's a moment that I've played in a campaign and I've said a thing and I want it to be so much cooler, or something like where I've been like, oh, I wish I could redo this. Do you have that moment as Addison?
As Addison?
Yeah.
Not as Addison. But I do have a moment like that if I want to.
Yeah, do it. Let's go.
Yeah. So in our Old Loft Adventures campaign, Gimbal, our gnome cleric, his mother is named Dipple, who is the gnome with the droopy nipple. That was something that the players latched onto. And that's not how I created the character. That was what Isaac Gimbal's player came up with as their name, and it just latched on. So it then evolved through them which is not canon, by the way, that she is the town whore, and everybody knows Dipple. Wink.
Oh my god.
And so it is a constant thing that is brought up because I know how
Dipple
much
sounds like my
irks
favorite
me.
person on the internet. Like, absolutely slay. Own it. Fucking lead into it. I'm here for you, Dipple. That's fucking
She's
cool.
brought up nearly every session, and like
What a
it's not a
legend.
thing, guys. It's not a thing. To the point, and I don't have it with me at the moment. I'm not going to go and get it. One of my other players made T-shirts for us all and gave them to us at PAX that have droopy nipples on it saying "Free the Dipple."
I love that. Do you know what? Dipple sounds like a fucking icon. I fucking love that.
That's probably one of the regret things that I've got, is that that's a thing.
Yeah, look, okay. We all do it. It's fine. I did this to you in character. I'd like to do it to you out of character.
Sure.
Talk to me about if you had to summarize your hero's journey as Addison to the people tuning in that maybe haven't watched the campaign before.
Mm-hmm.
Summarize it. Tell us about the journey from start to finish.
So Addison is a guy who has no idea who he is, wants to find out where he's come from, knows no one, has latched onto this guild, is like, this could be my way of finding out things, has made friends, has made not enemies as far as from his perspective, but people that severely dislike him, but on his end, he thinks they're just, they might just not get him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just trying to make his way until he can figure out why he is what he is.
Yeah. Yeah. Love that. That is all the questions I have for you. And I feel like this is, a perfect little time to start wrapping up. And before we do, tell us once again, like, who you are, where we can find you, what you've been up to, what you've got coming up. This is your moment. Spotlight yourself.
Brilliant. So my name is JudgeRPG. I do TTRPG content here on Twitch, and I upload the long campaign on YouTube as well, all under the same name. You'll find me pretty much anywhere. I think I'm on Twitter as Judge_streams, I think. So I don't do anything over there, or very little. So if you want to go over there, don't expect much. But I do a long campaign which happens on the first and third Friday of every month called Old Aloft Adventures with a whole bunch of other streamers. It is a good time. I do the monthly guild quest, which happens on the fourth Friday of every month. It's a set day, set time. So if you want part of that, send me a message. It's gonna be good. I'm gonna convince Emily to jump in one. So
it sounds like a ton of fun. I love the idea of being able to rotate something in the way that you've kind of presented it. So no, I think it's pretty fucking cool, dude.
And the other thing that I've just started up, which is, it's struggling to get legs a little bit, but I'm really keen to get it fully off the ground, is what I call Courtroom to Classroom, where I want to learn all the other TTRPGs that are out there. So I'm looking for experts in their field to contact me and go, I will be an instructor for you. I will teach you World of Darkness, Cyberpunk, any small little one-shotty kind of thing. We've done Call of Cthulhu, we've done Rolling for Shoes, we've got Shadowrun lined up hopefully for this month. I want to run an Everyone is John one as well.
John, don't take that personally in the chat. It's going to be okay.
That sounds like fun, this one. It's like everyone's a voice in this guy's head and everyone gets a turn to do something. You like do different objectives to get points, and it's crazy. It sounds like
that's
good fun.
Really,
chaotic.
Really cool. I heckin' love that. That sounds so cool. Okay. Love that.
So yeah.
Sounds like you got a ton going on. It sounds like we might see you at PAX this year, potentially.
Well, I am definitely hoping to get a panel at PAX this year. We did it last year as well, where I did Dungeons in Dragons, where we had our party get swallowed by a dragon.
Schedule. Yeah, cool.
Much fun. Spoiler, they got shut out. It was great.
Excellent. Hey, it's been a ton of fun having you around, and I'm thank you so much for joining us for the very first episode of This Is Your Questline. And it sounds like you have plenty of characters that we could bring back at some point and pick up this discussion.
It's been a lot of fun. I think this whole series, I think, has an amazing potential. Anyone out there who's like, I just love to want to talk about my character more, fill out the form wherever you've got the form. Do it.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, you're doing the thing for me. So, hey, love that.
I'll send you the bill afterwards.
Thank you. It's truly racking up at this point.
It's just a can of soup. It's from Addison.
It's from yeah, okay, great. But yeah, anyone who wants to come on and yap about your characters, this expression of interest for This Is Your Questline will remain open. You can go and find it over on Threads on Instagram. You can find it in the Hexes and Vexes Discord. The next one that I currently have scheduled, there will be one before this, potentially, but it sounds like the next one I currently have scheduled is going to be with D20, who is in the chat, with their character that you'll have to fuck around and find out, because I'm not spoiling it now. So definitely keep an eye out for that. My name is Emily. I am the producer, GM, occasional chief executive Thirstmaster over here on the Hexes of Exodus channel, where we play a bunch of D&D and TTRPGs and one-pages. And when I'm not here, you can find me over on The Lorites. You can find me on Meeples and Dragons. It has been a ton of fun. Thank you, Judge. We're going to read out, which I'm going to attempt to chat about right now, to Split the Party TV if they are still live. I hope they are, otherwise it's going to be really awkward. Let me attempt to start the raid. Everyone talk amongst yourselves. Don't look at me. Good golly. Yep, we're going to raid out now. Please stick around for the raid if you don't know who Split the Party are. They are a bunch of wonderful individuals that are doing a lot of cool stuff in the TTRPG space. They are also about to launch another charity event for Cure Cancer. Send them some emotes, do some waving, say some nice things about Judge and myself. If you do, I'll be real thankful. Until next time, this is your quest line. We'll do the little awkward wave out thing as we go to ended screen.